The Los Angeles Police Commission on Tuesday gave top LAPD officials 2 weeks to consolidate 3 recent reports on the department's handling of last spring's protests into a single plan of action that identifies top reform priorities, estimates associated costs and sets a timeline for implementation. "Let's get everything on the table as to what we need to do," said Commissioner Eileen Decker, president of the Civilian Oversight Panel. The order followed presentations on each of the 3 reports, which all found glaring issues with the LAPD's training, preparation and response, and questions from commissioners on how their recommendations overlapped. The commissioners did not address which recommendations they agreed with, but said the LAPD's consolidation report would help inform a collaborative effort in coming weeks and months by the Commission, the City Council and Mayor Eric Garcetti's office to formulate an official path forward. Decker said she looked forward to a robust list of improvements. The underlying reports, one from the LAPD, one for the City Council from Attorney Gerald Chaleff and one for the Commission from the National Police Foundation, all concluded that the LAPD's response to the historic protests against police brutality was hampered by poor planning, training and leadership in the field. Among other issues, the reports found that officers armed with hard foam projectile weapons were not properly trained on how to use them, that the department lacked sufficient resources and plans to efficiently and safely process the thousands of people they arrested, and that commanders had contributed to the chaos by issuing contradictory orders and diverging from best practices for mass demonstrations. They recommended more training for officers, a more constant and regular assessment by LAPD leaders of needs related to future demonstrations, and streamlined processes for documenting such encounters. The protests in late May and early June, which followed police killings of Black people in other cities including George Floyd in Minneapolis and Breonna Taylor in Louisville, Kentucky, devolved in LA into intense clashes between officers in riot gear and large crowds of demonstrators while shops and other businesses were burglarized and set ablaze, costing, by one LAPD estimate, nearly $170 million in private losses. Police have said they attempted to facilitate the demonstrations until they became dangerous and violent. Protesters have contended police in riot gear escalated tensions and deserve much of the blame for things spiraling out of control. The Commission's discussion Tuesday followed criticism from prominent community organizations and callers into the Commission's virtual meeting that the 3 reports were produced without sufficient community input and ignored calls for the police to be defunded, not pumped with more resources.